Yeah. It's been a ride. I guess I had to go to that place to get to this one.
What is going on, MMA fans? Haven't been on in a while making a video. I'll give a brief explanation about that real quick. I've got a full-time job, 40 hours a week. I'm not going to elaborate any further than that. But just want to update you on some things, and we're going to talk about some MMA. Some things that have happened here in the last few months, and talk about that. I'm going to try to do some videos. My predictions, the way I'm going to do them is going to be a little bit different than what I've done in the past, because I do put a lot, and you guys don't see this, and I've tried to show you in videos about the effort that I put into videos, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, where if I goof up on something, I'll go back and re-record the video. I usually jot some notes down off of what's in my head, talk about the fighters, based off of what I've written down, of what I know about the guy. But I think what I'm going to do now, so that I can get the videos done and get my thoughts and my picks out there, is I'm going to bring up the card the week of, talk about the fights, break them down on the spot of what I think is going to happen, each guy's style, and do it that way. And it'll be a little bit quicker, easier for me. I may not throw every single little detail out about the fighter, but I'll talk about each guy's style and what they bring and present on the table. So, a couple things, missed out on doing 117 and 118 picks. 117, we got to see Chael Sonnen dominate Anderson Silva for 4 rounds, and then Chael Sonnen literally gassed out and got caught in a sub. Up until that point, Chael was able to do pretty well what, I think was the correct strategy. Inside the guard, moving from side to side, not really giving Anderson any leverage and being able to grab an arm, get anything, with his guard moving up, trying to go for triangles, anything like that. And then in the 5th round, he just kind of sat inside of Anderson's guard, and then he got caught. That's the best way to put it. Wasn't really any good movement after that 4th round on his part inside Anderson's guard. He wasn't moving around as much, wasn't as active, and unfortunately he paid for it. Moving on to 118, a lot of stuff happened, and you look at the specifically the 155-pound division and look at the landscape that now is the lightweight division. We have Frankie Edgar, who is now literally, he is the undisputed lightweight champion of that weight class at 155 in the UFC. He comes out and does not only exactly what he did in the first fight, but even better. How many times have we seen BJ Penn, get taken down at 155 pounds in the fashion that was done to him? We haven't. Frankie Edgar came out, looked better than he did the first time, and was able to do more in the exchanges. He was able to, on the way out, if he went for a takedown and wasn't able to secure it, on the way out, either threw a hook to the body or threw a leg kick or threw a body kick. He was always being active on the way in and on the way out, and BJ was just one-dimensional in this fight, trying to box, didn't use takedowns, which is something that if I would have done predictions for this event, I would have said BJ Penn should come into this fight and probably will look for a takedown right off the bat. He didn't do that. His corner, horrible advice in between rounds, just kind of like pep talks. You can't. This is one of the few times where I went over to a friend's house to watch this event. I wasn't at a sports bar. I could actually hear the commentary, and Rogan was talking about this, and I was saying the same thing during the fight. JD and the other guys, they're not giving him any legit advice about what he needs to do. It's just, he took a fight from you. Go out there, beat him. Me and Sean Hatch, the MMA professor, we were talking the night, actually it was last night, about this fight, and talking about how BJ just doesn't, it looks like the motivation for training, the motivation for actually getting in there and doing stuff, it isn't there. He's not wanting to go to other camps, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating, especially when you realize, and I'm not the biggest fan of BJ as a person, but as a fighter, when you see that the talent that is there, that is being, I don't want to say wasted, but not being capitalized on, it really bothers you. And when you sit there and you think about it and you realize what this guy can do and what he is capable of, and he's not doing. Part of it's training, part of it's where he's at in his camp, part of it's his ego. All these things mixed together, unfortunately, are where BJ Penn is at right now. Frankie Edgar looked amazing once again, so congratulations to him. And the co-main event, was anyone surprised? Randy Couture, James Toney. Randy did exactly what needed to be done. He went for a pick right off of the lead leg of James, took him down, got into mount, went for an arm triangle, secured it, locked it up, game over. I mean, it was simple as that. Tony, I don't, hopefully, if he does come back to MMA, I would pray and hope that there is some more legit training instead of bringing in a guy from the Navy SEALs who really doesn't have, one, the experience with Greco-Roman wrestling, two, doesn't have the experience with being able to help Tony in submission situations, which is exactly what he ran into in this fight. And 9 months of preparation is not enough. Not against a guy that's been literally not only competing in mixed martial arts, but in the Olympic sport of Greco-Roman wrestling for almost his whole career, even since college, going way, way back for Randy. It's just 9 months isn't enough. It isn't going to equate to anything. I'll just touch on a couple of the other fights. Gray Maynard, Kenny Florian. Kenny's kryptonite is still wrestling. We still got to see that in this fight. And, one of the things that I did not think would happen in this fight was that he would be able to get taken down in some of the situations as easily as he was. I thought that a guy that would give him a problem is an explosive wrestler, a guy like Sean Shirk, a guy like Frankie Edgar. Guys that the initial shot that they have is so quick that you can't defend against it, which is where we've seen problems with Kenny. Kenny's done well against guys that just kind of lazily come in there and try to take him down, and he's able to defend it. But in this fight, he wasn't able to do that. He got taken down consistently and lost. I mean, that's unfortunately what you have with Gray Maynard is decent boxing and a wrestler, a guy that's going to try to come in on you. If you give him the opportunity, he'll take you down. And Gray was able to stay out of submission attempts, and that's something else. Something about BJ and Kenny. A lot of people talk about how good their jiu-jitsu is. They've never been amazing. Neither one of these guys off of their back. And I think that's something that not only BJ, but Kenny as well, they both need to go back and realize that if they're put on their back, they need to start working off of their back a little bit more, because you're not seeing enough from these guys off of their back. Yeah, BJ went for one armbar attempt that really didn't work out too well. He didn't have the correct position. Kenny really didn't go for too much either in that position. He went for, I think, one armbar attempt that was kind of lazily thrown up. This is... both of these guys are decorated enough in BJJ that they should be working off of their backs, especially when they're in these type of situations. So, unfortunately for Kenny, he's not going to get back to that mountain, so we will get Gray Maynard versus Frankie Edgar again for a rematch. Some of the other fights, Demi Maia, of course, come out against Mario Miranda, being able to win that decision. Miranda looked impressive with some of his submission escapes. Was able to do the correct positions of one of the armbar attempts, bucking his hips, rolling out, and getting to his legs to avoid that. Nate Diaz doing what he did to Marcus Davis, very, very impressive. Actually getting some takedowns in there too. He's definitely a guy to look out for, not only at 170 but at 155 pounds. So, like I said, I will be back to do some videos. I'm going to try to change the style up so I can get the content out. One of the reasons that I haven't been doing these is because of the preparation that I put into the videos. I like them to be as professional as possible. I like to jot down the notes out of my head so that I make sure I'm covering the right points, but you can't always be perfect on everything, and I think I realize that now. And I want to put videos out there, but again, just because of the amount of time that I put into these videos, the work schedule that I've got right now, it's kind of tough. So I'm going to try to mix that together. It's probably going to be not as many topic videos that I'd like to do. I'll do those every once in a while, but you'll see me more for events. So leave me some comments, constructive, negative, positive, as always. I'll probably do another video today on something else I wanted to talk about, and I'll catch you guys later.